Hey guys, Matt here. Time for episode 6. Episode 6 of Java Game Programming Series, 12 games in 12 months. Snake game is our first month, and this is episode 6 of it. So, at the end of the last video, I said what we do now is start the sprite loader, sprite manager, these three classes basically. So, what do we need? Now, the sprite is a bit pointless at the moment, but it's good practice for a later tutorial where we're going to be making use of sprite in a bit more sense, as in that's a later month tutorial, not later on in this. But what we're going to do is say public buffered image sprite, and guess what? That's it. That is our whole sprite class done. So we can save that and close it. Right then, sprite loader. This is where it gets slightly more involved. What we actually are going to do is going to take in a sprite sheet as a parameter, an X position, a Y position, a width and a height of the tile, and we're going to cut the tile out. So public void, public sprite cut tile int X pos, int Y pos, int width, int height, buffered image sheet. Right then, sprite result equals new sprite. Let's organize imports. Return result. I'm just going to say result.sprite equals sheet.get subimage xpos ypos width height. Okay, now that's not completely done because ypos needs to be multiplied times the height and xpos times the width. So if we save that, that will all work fine and dandy. So now we're going to create static sprites. So public static sprite body equal, we'll create floor first. Floor. And that can go equals sprite loader dot cut tile 0 0 20 20, and we need to no, that's how we're going to do it. Just remembering how I've done this slightly differently. So I'm just going to say static initialize public static void initialize buffered image sheet equals image io.read snake main.class.get resource as stream sheet.png. Now what this does is it will navigate to the folder where we are holding our main method, which is snake main. So just wrap this with a try catch. So we'll navigate to that point, and it will then try to read an image with that file name. So it's a very, very efficient way of loading them, and it also works when you're outside of a IDE and you're working from a jar file. So what we need to do now is say that floor equals we'll create this as a sprite loader. Sprite loader equals new sprite loader. Floor equals loader dot cut tile 0 0 20 20 sheet. Okay, so that's basically how we load sprites in now. Now what we are going to do is we're going to have a public static boolean here. So public static boolean initialized equals false, and then right at the bottom here I'm going to say initialized equals true. So we can actually run this now, and we shouldn't get an error because we don't actually make a reference to the Sprite Manager class. As soon as we do, it will create these, and then it will run this static loop, which will then run initialize, which starts all this off. So now that I've actually installed it, we have paint.net. Yay! So we're going to create a new one. What size are we going to make this? We're going to say 80 by 80. So 80 by 80. Now I've got a brand new install of most of this stuff, so I don't have my nice fancy stuff on here, such as being able to create a grid. So I don't have my grid of checkerboard maker, which is a bit of a pain, but you know what, I'll have to live with it. So 20 by 20, I'm going to fill that black, copy paste. Yay for doing it the old-fashioned way. In fact, no. Drop a copy paste. There we go. Will you look at that? It's a perfect tile set. So actually, no, we're not going to create a new layer. Delete the layer. Okay, we're going to zoom in right in here on the top right. If it lets me. No, zoom out a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the magic wand, select that tile, and we're going to create a nice greeny colour. So go to more, something like that. We're going to fill it, then we're going to add an effect, noise, add noise, drop the intensity down a bit. That looks quite nice. We'll save it there. Then deselect and save. Now we're going to go to this. We're going to go to our name. We're going to go to where are we going? Works. Well, who's talking? Alice talks. Never mind. Come to Workspace Start Studio Tutorials even. Workspace Tutorials, Res. I'm going to save this as sheet.png. Save. So now, when we come back to our IDE, we're going to go to Sprites Loader. No, we're not going to Snake Main. And where we're rendering the background, which is nowhere at the moment, we're going to call a render background method. So render bg, and we're going to pass g to that. So come down here, so public void render bg graphics g. Okay then. So now that we've created the method, we're going to create a little array up here, which is going to store our board. It's going to be a dual integer array, so I'm going to say public int. It helps you spell public right. Public int board equals new int. Okay, and we're actually going to not do that yet. So board, and if we come down here to snake main, so just in here, we're going to say board, get rid of caps, board equals new int get width over tile size, get height over tile size. So that's created our board. Now what we're going to use that for is we're going to have solid tiles and different tile styles. So in here we can say for int I equals 0, I is less than what we're going to say, I is less than no, we're going to use x. So int x equals 0, x is less than board.length x plus plus. For int y equals 0, y is less than board 0.length y plus plus. If in fact no, we'll say int id equals board x y. If id equals 0, which it will do to start with because it's going to be a blank tile, g.drawImage, get the small one, sprite manager dot floor x times tile size, y times tile size, no. Okay, so that should work quite. What? Sprite manager dot floor dot sprite. So now if we save that, press run, we have a nice green background. Would you look at that? And an incredibly quick snake because I forgot to turn the difficulty back down, which means I'm going to die again. Anyway, back onto slightly more important subjects. If we kill that, that's essentially how simple it is to add sprites. So what we're going to say is we're going to say public static sprite segment. I think you can guess what we're going to do here. Segment equals loader.cutTile x was 1 0 20 20 sheet. So now if we quickly come back to here, we're going to use this tile now. So just select it so you can't go outside of it. I'm going to create a red circle inside there. Turn anti-aliasing off because anti-aliasing is the devil in some way, because it just affects your sprites to a point where it's not really worth the effort sometimes. So just create a nice circle. There we go. And we're going to fill it with a slightly darker colour. So we can save that. In fact, no, we won't. I'm just going to select the background there and delete it. So save it. That's added transparency around it. So if we come back to this, we're going to go to segment and we're going to change the render method. So g.drawImage. Image is going to be sprite manager dot segment dot sprite xpos times 20. But no, we don't even need xpos times 20 ypos. So it's just ypos observer null. Okay, so we can just organize imports, get rid of the color import, and if we save that, we can now run this, and if you look at that, we've got a nice fancy snake segment, and I'm really worried about losing again. So there we go. As we're going along, it's getting bigger and bigger to the point where it's just adding more and more segments to the render calls. And I definitely just went off the sideboard there at the base. Anyway guys, that's it for this tutorial. So I'll just leave you with me playing a nice new pretty version of Snake. And in the next tutorial we'll just add the food sprites and then we'll start making collidable terrain. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you then. Bye.